back with another episode of the Expat series with my friend and babysitter, Gabriela. She hails from Ecuador, as Declan likes to say. And she's going to tell us about, her multi-journey to Spain. So, Gabby, thank you so much for being here. And so lovely for you to take time to talk to me about all this fun stuff.
Hi, Bree. I'm so glad you invited me to your podcast. It's so nice to finally be here after a year and a half.
I
I'm so glad to be here.
Let's first discuss a little bit about growing up in Ecuador. What did you like? What didn't you like? What do you miss? What was your childhood all about?
Okay, growing up in Ecuador. So I lived in two cities in Ecuador. The capital, Quito, which is in the mountains, in the highlands. So Quito is amazing. My favorite city in Ecuador. It has the perfect weather.
Mm.
So it's kind of I don't know in Fahrenheit, but Celsius it's I don't know it. But Celsius is it gets cold during the night, so maybe 8, 9
Oh,
degrees Celsius, and then 20 degrees Celsius during the day, so it's not hot, but it just gets warm. Like you can be in a t-shirt and jeans.
that is nice.
So it's the spring all year round.
Ah,
It's
okay.
amazing. Yeah. They
And then,
call it the city of the eternal spring.
well, it is like pretty close to the equator, one would say. So it might, and in the mountains, it would be very temperate, very consistent, if the
It's
equator.
amazing.
And then,
But then, wait,
go
sorry. And
ahead.
then I also lived in Guayaquil, which is in the beach, like the
Mm.
coast. But that's super hot. That's Valencia in summer, August. Well, not that hot, maybe July. It gets 33 degrees Celsius during the day,
Hmm.
and then 22 during the night. So
Okay.
it's maybe like right now, a little bit hotter, a little bit warmer. So yeah, the weather's like that. And then growing up, it was all about family, all about connections, all
Mm.
about what high school you went to, what school were you at, what is your last name?
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, what are your parents' friends? Where are you gonna go this weekend? Where are you gonna go for the summer? Basically, it's all about the status, the economic status you have.
Oh,
So,
wow. That's
yeah,
interesting. That's really
not nice at
interesting.
all.
What
Yeah.
about any stereotypes or misconceptions about the country?
Well, there's a lot of stereotypes about the country. It's interesting because now that I live here in Valencia, a lot of people tell me, "Oh, you don't look like you're from Ecuador." I'm like, "I'm sorry. Do I need to be like what, a football player or something? Do I need to look like a football player?" Well, a soccer player. They're all because the only representation we have is the soccer players.
Mm,
Yeah,
football team,
from
yeah.
Ecuador. So I'm sorry, they're all um, dark skin,
Mm,
dark eyes. Well, I have dark eyes too, but dark skin, really, really tall. But they also have the misconception that they are really, really small. They're all overweight, and that's not true. I am tall for a woman in Ecuador. That's true. But then so are my friends. My friends are also tall. It's a lot about differences, but we are all in all ranges. We all come from different all colors, and yeah, it's not. That's the basic
I think that's
misconception we have.
I think it's really interesting too because you think somebody from like South America or like Mexico, Colombia, like whatever. My friend Salome is from Colombia, and you just forget that actually there's a mix of colors, and it's just like anywhere else in the world. It's like various shades, um, and so it's interesting when things are like typecasted. Like you have to look like this, you have to look like that if you're
Yeah.
from there, or you're like this if you're from here. So it's just interesting to hear your perspective on it.
No, but then also when they listen to me speaking in English, they're like, "Oh, and you are from Ecuador?" When they ask me like, "Where are you from? Are you from the UK, the US?" I'm like, "No, I'm from Ecuador." And they're like, "What? You're from Ecuador?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from Ecuador." And they always ask, "How do you learn how to speak in English?" I'm like, "Well, I went to school, a bilingual school." I went to live in the States for a year. So that's how I learned my English. But they have also this misconception that every Latin American doesn't speak English or doesn't travel a lot and
Mm,
doesn't have a lot of like culture in
yeah,
them. Yeah.
it's always interesting to hear that, actually.
Yeah.
You're not the first person to tell me that. What did you appreciate most about growing up in Ecuador?
I think growing up with all my family around, like
Mm,
surrounded with all my family, that's really, really nice because uh, I always, for example, every Sunday I had this lunch with my extended family, not only my mom, dad, my brother, and me. No, it was with my grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins, everyone. We were like 20, 25 at the table. Then later on, we played soccer or basketball or cards. So it was really, really nice. You can say that that's something that shaped me in life. Because, for example, that's why I want to have a big family or have maybe like 3 or 4 kids. Because I also want to have that in my life when I grow up. I want them to come home with all their kids and all my grandsons and granddaughters and come home every Sunday, every Saturday, and then have an afternoon with them. Yeah, that's something that I really appreciate.
it's hard to do that when you're in Spain, though.
Yeah, I know. But that's why I have you. And Declan. I can do that with you.
That's
And you
true.
invite me to all your festivities, so yeah.
I really do. That's really true. Let's talk about what was that process like for you when you were moving from um, Ecuador to the US to study? What was that like?
It was so much easier compared to the Spain one. But to be fair, I've always had the visa, the tourist visa to the States.
Hmm.
Thankfully, my mom and my dad always made sure that we had a visa because Ecuador is not a country that is able to go with the Ecuadorian passport. So we needed to apply with the visa to the Ecuador to the we needed to apply for the states to the US visa um, to go there to visit. So they always made sure as babies we had the visa to establish a record of us like applying and traveling and not having a bad record of us. Since we had a good record of us traveling for vacations over there a few times, applying for the student visa was easier
Oh, I
because
see. Okay.
yeah, I needed to apply for the student visa because I needed my university transcripts, my the university Michigan State University letter of acceptance saying that I was gonna go there, that all my costs were covered. My mom's letter saying that she was gonna cover if anything. I had health insurance. Well, all of the stuff that visa requires, visa paperwork requires, but it was so much easier. I just needed to collect all the paperwork and then present myself for an interview. They asked me a couple of questions saying, "Oh, where was I gonna live?" I said that I was gonna live at the dorms, which was a requirement for me to live
Gotcha.
there at the university. how was I gonna cover my expenses, which my mom was paying for my university, and then also my university gave me a scholarship. So I had the scholarship, the letter of the scholarship saying that the university was covering my tuition, my how do you say that, the tuition and the
Remember?
room and board and the room and board thing. So I only needed to cover my health insurance, which I also had already bought it. And then my tickets, my return, my like to go and to return tickets. Like I'm not staying. I need to come back.
Very
um,
important.
you're very important. Yeah, but then they're super nice. They are, contrary to what people think, they are they have never been mean to me. They are nice. They are educated. If you are educated and nice to them, they are the same to you, which I'm also. I know that when dealing with them, you need to be respectful and hello, good morning, thank you, bye.
Appreciate you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I just want to leave. Thank you. Bye.
So true. Oh God, I do that
Yeah.
now. I'm like, dude, thank you.
And I always go with like dress up, really dolled up, like with a good hairstyle.
I do. I mean, I
Yeah.
would. I don't. So it's fine. So there wasn't like
Um,
anything surprising when you.
no,
Oh,
no,
that's
no.
good.
Yeah, because I told you, as a kid, I went already to a few interviews with my mom and dad to apply for a tourist visa, and then for the student visa was even easier. Um, so yeah,
That's
living
awesome.
there was amazing. Yeah, the process was amazing.
So what did you like about being in Michigan?
I love Michigan. if you if there is a place I could be at right now, it would be Michigan because it snowed there until May, and here we're dying out of heat and warm, and I'm sweating, and I need to sleep like with nothing on, not like nothing. I mean, no. I don't like the heat, and then Michigan was amazing. It was cold, the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michigan was the perfect American experience I was looking for to go to. I had hay rides,
Yeah. In the
which, for
fall.
example, yeah, in the fall, for example, you could not find that in Florida or
Oh, you
South.
can. You can. It's
You
just not the
can?
same. It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not
I
the
mean, it's
same.
hay
Or
rides, but it's not like cool and crisp and fall-y, It's like still
yeah, and the
hot
colors of the yeah, yuck.
and itchy.
And the colors of the leaves and
Yeah, it's
everything.
pretty.
It's amazing. I still have pictures of the trees and everything. It was awesome. And then the fights with snow, the snowmans. I remember my brother went to visit me. He was having so much fun with the snow. It was his first time seeing snow, and it was amazing. Yeah, no, Michigan, the it was the perfect, like I told you, the perfect American experience I was looking for.
Yeah. I mean, Michigan is a
Yeah.
really cool state and it has a lot to offer. I'm just like being dramatic here. Because I don't like the snow at all
Yeah,
whatsoever.
and
Not my thing.
the Lake Michigan,
Hmm.
it's amazing too. If you went there, if you go there, you can also do a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff around the Lake
Yeah.
Michigan. Yeah.
Did you have any culture shock like when you got to America? Like, was there anything that you were like, what the fuck
Oh,
is happening?
yeah. When we got there to the student initiation or whatever,
Yeah.
um the person that gave us the pep talk or the
Hmm.
instructions was like, okay, these to all the international students were like, okay, okay, this is cool, but for the South American students, especially for you, because they were like, because all of the South Americans we were six Ecuadorians.
Oh, wow.
So, and not anybody else from like South America, just the six of us, the Ecuadorians. We're like, for you, the South Americans, yeah, the six Ecuadorians, you cannot hug, kiss, or touch anybody without their consent. And we were like, okay. And they gave us a full talk, a full speech about not touching like anybody, not even the shoulder, or like hugging anybody around the shoulder, because it can be harassment or sexual assault if we touched anybody.
Is that like a thing in Ecuador? Do you touch people just for fun?
I mean, not touch, but you know, the casual, like, oh, hey, how are you? And you put the arm around somebody, like, because we are people with a lot of physical, like, connection, physical touch. We do a lot of, like, fist bump, or whenever I'm, like, I don't know, you see me moving a lot my arms and my hands.
It's the Italian in you.
But also the Ecuadorians, the South Americans, we do a lot of physical touch to express ourselves, to express our warmth with the people we're surrounded with. And they gave us this scary talk that we did not touch anybody the whole year.
That's really funny.
We were like, hey, how are you? Cool.
Can I shake your hand?
No, we were saying hello like this, like, hey, what's up? Cause that was our way to say hello. That was the shock, the culture shock that impacted us the most. Like, hey, what's up? Not being able to touch or hug somebody. Yeah.
To say hello. What about like the Michigan accent? Was that hard to understand? Because some people have a very thick, I don't say like middle American accent, but it can be a little nasally, because every part of America speaks some slightly differently with their vowels. So I was just curious.
I cannot seem to get the difference.
Okay, that's fair. That's
to
fair.
to be honest.
That's fair.
Only the Boston one.
Oh,
That's
the Boston.
the only one I can
What
put
about what about a southern drawl? Like down there, you're gonna go,
Okay. Yeah, but
in the
that's
southern,
the
down the southern.
but this yeah. But that's like the country
Yeah.
side accent. But the big cities, no.
Just Boston. Just Boston.
Yeah,
No.
just Boston.
Okay, so you liked America, you liked Michigan.
Yeah.
What about Spain? What brought you here initially?
I wanted to, because I lived in the States and I went back to Ecuador. I knew that the States was not my place to, even though I loved it, I knew my place was not there. I wanted to try and do my master's in Europe to see if I could find myself living in Europe, somewhere in Europe. So the difficulty here is that where to go if I don't fully speak Italian, German, Portuguese, all these languages, I don't speak them. So my option was Spain. And I had a cousin that in that time lived here. And he was like, oh
In
yeah,
Valencia?
yeah, in
Okay.
Valencia. Oh, you know
Yeah,
him.
I was gonna say, did I meet him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was like, come here, just come here, try it out. And I gave it a shot. I came here. Initially, I didn't want to stay because I find it hard to adjust to life here, to Valencia.
What makes it hard for you specifically?
Because Valencianos are really not closed-minded, but they are not that open to outsiders. I'm talking about Valencianos, not people that come from Madrid to live in Valencia or people from Barcelona to that. No, I'm talking about Valencianos. Because I try to get along with the girls in my classroom in the masters, and they were like, "Oh no, I already have plans with my friends," and I was like, "Okay, can I come with you then?" And they were like, "Nope, we are. It's a plan for us, for my group of friends." I'm like, "Okay, have fun."
Do you think, let me ask this, do you think that there's any like prejudice because you were from South America or like Ecuador that they had some kind of, thing against you by chance? Like, just curious.
I don't really know, but I think it's more because they're so used. I think here in Valencia they're so used to that being from like towns and growing up
Mm,
together their whole life that they want to stay together. You know what I mean? Like they
interesting.
don't let other people from the outside inside the group when they make plans with their group.
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective. Because
Yeah.
I mean, it could be because I'm in a different place or my circles are very expat influenced. Like I find that my friends who are from Valencia are really open. But that being said, one of them is married to a Brit, and then one of them is a teacher. Actually, a lot of them are teachers in like international schools, so they like seek out expats and expat things because they want more English or to interact with expats. So it's really interesting because that's not my experience, like at all whatsoever. So I like that. It's different, just different.
Yeah.
Huh?
Maybe because that o sea, those people wanna have interaction with
Yeah,
people outside Valencia.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
That's a
for
good point.
example, these girls from the masters didn't want to get these kind of interactions or these kind of friendships. Maybe because they thought we were not gonna stay, which may 80% of the class didn't stay in Valencia, and
Yeah.
only three of us stayed here. Um, who knows? But they were like, "No, I'm going out with my friends, but you can't come."
Rude, rude.
Then we're gonna hang out in our own. And we were the people
Ecuador.
Ecuador, Mexico, Colombia. What else? No, those were the three countries that
That's awesome.
hanged out. Yeah.
Las Americas. Oh, so
Yeah.
let's talk about your process for Spain. How did that compare to the US? How was it different? And apparently harder. Más difícil.
Well, the paperwork for Spain is still going. Let's just say that 4 years later, it is still going.
But you're changing your visa or working on it, correct? So that adds to it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
yes.
anyway, back to the original. We'll start with the original and talk about the transition.
Okay, the let's let's start that it was bureaucratic and stressful from the beginning because they asked for so many things that the US visa didn't ask for example. Even though I came here with a student visa too, they asked for letter for someone here in Spain inviting me to come over, even though I had my letter from the institution saying that I was gonna study here. They asked for a letter saying that somebody was gonna
Like
invite
sponsor,
me to spend, yeah,
like
like
sponsor you essentially.
yeah, for not sponsor me because they were not gonna pay for anything, but like saying that they knew me and they officially invited me to come here to Spain.
Interesting. Okay.
So I asked my aunt to say that she's my aunt and that she's inviting me to come over to Spain. Yeah,
Okay.
bureaucratic stuff. Uh, yeah, and even though I had all my paperwork in order, um, I had this fear of being denied because I did not have any. It was my first time coming to Europe, so I did not have this history of me being here in Spain or visiting, and I was it was my first time applying as a adult, as a grown up, because the other way that when I went to the States, I was under my mom's name,
Yeah.
under my mom's like bank account.
On fire.
Like, help, daddy, help. I was applying alone, so I was like, knock knock.
I've got so many songs in my head right now. Hello from the outside. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
And they said that they were gonna answer me within a month, and surprise, surprise,
They didn't.
they didn't.
Of course not.
So I had this whole thing in my head that I didn't get like that I got denied, but then like 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, I got the call that I had to go get my package, well, my passport, to pick up my passport. So I went in there, picked to DHL to pick up my passport. I was like, did I get it? Did I get it? And yes, I got it, thankfully.
They had to put like the
Um,
visa in the passport.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You have to put the visa in the passport. Either for the US or whatever, they put the visa inside the passport. Um, so you send your passport, hopefully praying that it comes back. But yeah, I got it. And also here in this time, because I was applying on my own, I had to have 5,000 euros in my account. So I had to ask for a loan to have that kind of money because I did not have that kind of
Because
money.
they want to make sure that you're not going to be like a burden to the system, and you
Yes,
have.
yes,
Great.
to come here. And when I got it, I was relieved. But yeah, it was much more stressful.
And then what about now, before we get into some comparisons of life in Europe and South
No,
America?
let me
How's
tell you. After, because you only get the a student visa for 3 months, because after that it doesn't cover your full year. You need to come to Spain, get your NIE, because that is the one that like makes you
yeah, your number?
yeah, your
Yeah.
number makes you fully like available. I don't know,
Yeah.
like the word, yeah, to be here. The word in Spanish is habilitar, but it's not coming to me in English. Um, but yeah, it's the one that authorizes you to stay here in Spain.
Yeah.
So they only give you that visa for 3 months. So you need to come here to Spain, get your empadronamiento, get a bank account, get everything. But for all of that, they ask for your NIE. But how do you get your NIE if you don't get this stuff? It's like a circle you cannot get out of. Why?
So true. Oh my God. When we got here, Dom set up like a nickel account because we couldn't get internet in the apartment. And nobody would open a bank account because we didn't have our NIA. We came on like the tourist visa, so we had like 90 days. And he was trying to set all this stuff up for like Declan in school, and we couldn't do anything. So we had to like go to Nickel, set up the account, do all these things. I don't even know if he has a Spanish bank account. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, but I do. It was easier for me. It was easier for me because I had my NIA, but it's not my visa. It's his visa, and he sponsors me and Declan. So I had to like sign this document saying that like I was like a stay-at-home mom and I needed an account that my husband was putting money in and was like allotting me money so I could pay bills. It's
You know
good.
what I had to do?
I can't
There
wait.
was there was an Ecuadorian bank here. Well, there is an Ecuadorian bank here in Spain that I could open up with like a bank account with my passport saying that I'm Ecuadorian. so I could have a bank account here in Spain, so I can get my NIE. But it's it's so it's this circle that you cannot get out of, that the Spain bureaucracy puts you in. Like, it's like a laundry machine that you
So tell
cannot.
me what you want, what you really, really want. Like, they make you work for it, huh? That's what I'm
Do you really
guessing.
want to stay? Do you really want to stay? Okay, I'm gonna put you through here and here and here and here and here. Let's see how many times you can fall and get back up and fall and get back up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting perspective. I'm not mad at it, but okay, so
But yeah.
now so you had to reapply for your student visa after 3 months.
Well, I had to get my NIE. And my NIE was only for the period of my school year. And after that, I stayed here. Well, I tried to apply for a job, seeking for a job like visa,
Yeah.
but they deny it. They said that my master's degree was not high enough for the job that I got in yeah, in a nursery, because I first, when I came after my master's, I got a job in a nursery.
Where
And
did you
they
go to
said that.
university? Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead, sorry.
No, 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 tell me.
Oh, I was just curious, where did you get your master's from?
Oh, it's called ISEP, Instituto de Instituto Superior de Estudios Psicológicos.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Institute of Higher Psychology Education.
Okay, so you get your
Um,
master's and you go in child psychology specifically, or
no, in clinical and health psychology
okay.
and eating disorders. So I got like a three master's degree in 1 year. Um, and then I got a job at a nursery, and they said, no, you're not qualified because your master's is not like high enough for this job. I'm like, what? I have three masters. I have a full psychology degree. I have like everything, and you're telling me that I cannot work as a school psychologist in a nursery. But okay, so they denied me, and I didn't want to go back to Ecuador. So I stayed here illegally.
And then what happened? It's getting good.
And then after 2 years of being here illegally, not being able to go back to Ecuador, not being able to see my family, I applied to the arraigo, which doesn't have a translation in English.
Okay.
Arraigo por formación, which is like me applying for like staying here because I study here. They said, okay, what are you gonna study? And I said, early childhood education. And they said, okay, granted. So I went back to Ecuador. I studied that thing. I am not doing my internship at a nursery. And then now I have to get a job, because after you study that, you need to get a job, a full-time contract, for you to be able to get your NIE again, your working visa, so you can be able to travel and
So
move.
so now you have to apply for a job and then they'll like not
Renew it.
renew
Yeah.
your NIA. Not your NIA
Yeah.
number doesn't change, does it?
No.
Because
No,
it's
no.
attached.
Just, yeah, it just changes your status.
So were you but also weren't you here during COVID too? Part of
No,
it? No, no,
no,
no.
no,
Okay,
no.
it was
No.
afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards.
But it was one of those things where if you left Spain, you couldn't come back. So you kind of had to like figure out how to navigate the system in order to survive so that you
Yeah.
could, what is that?
I stayed here in Spain all the time. I could not come back.
How did
I
how did that feel though every day to like go through that?
horrible. You're in a limbo. I lived in this constant anxiety and this constant like feeling of what if something happened with my family, with my grandparents. You knew my fear,
Yeah.
and thankfully it happened after I was able to go back. Um, but what if I have to go back? What if I don't have anything? Like, if the police stopped me here, I did not have a document for me to be like, hey, bye, run. Yeah.
It's not funny, but it's funny. Like,
I know. I laugh now because I can. I am here to tell my story because I am able to. But I know it's not funny. Somebody else is in that position right now, and it's not fun. I had a lot of anxiety because mostly because I could not work legally, and therefore I could not have a contract, and I could not have a stable income, and it was always a what's gonna happen next month. Am I gonna be able to get everything? Because I had to pay rent, I had to pay the bills, I have to pay the food, I had to pay, like, everything. And Spain is getting expensive and expensive, more expensive and expensive every day. It's
yeah.
not getting cheaper. Everything is going up. So yeah, and I chose a hobby that is not cheap either. Running is expensive.
Yeah, the
So
shoes and
expensive.
stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, but why did you choose to stay in Spain as opposed to going back to Ecuador?
I was not going through a good time in that moment. I was going through like a breakup, and I felt that going back to Ecuador in that moment was gonna make me was gonna hurt me more
Mm,
than to stay here, because here I did not have any connections to him, any memories, anything related to him. And
mm,
then going back to Ecuador, everything, everything was gonna be a reminder of him.
yeah.
So in that moment, it was like, no, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna try and fight to get a job, build a new life, build a new Gaby, a stronger, better Gaby. Like, I want to be myself again.
Hmm. I get that.
So yeah, that's why I decided to stay here, even though I was not having a good time because I was diagnosed with um, depression and anxiety in that moment.
It's not fun.
Yeah, and I was alone here, going through everything of like that alone. You get it.
Yeah.
But going through that alone was so hard. But now looking back, is somewhat, somewhat what defined me,
Mm,
what defines me now, and knowing that I went through that. Now I know that I can get through everything,
yeah.
like everything.
Which is nice, but it's like, could we not do that again?
Yeah, yes.
Please? Thanks. Appreciate that,
Yes,
universe. Thank you very much indeed.
yes, yes,
Uh,
exactly.
so what is life like and compare, like, if you had to compare the different styles of life in Ecuador, the United States, and here, what are like benefits of each place? What are disadvantages? What do you appreciate? What do you
Okay,
not
I'm gonna
appreciate?
say benefits. I'm gonna say benefits first of each country, just to be positive first.
Focus on the positives.
um, Ecuador, food, fruits, especially. You have fresh fruit and cheap fruit every day. Like, you have, because it has the same weather all year round.
Mm,
You have all the fruits all year round. They never go like bad. So you have them every day. If you want um good cherries during the winter, you have them because there's no winter. If you want good pineapples, good everything, you have them all year round, and that's amazing. That's something that people that live there, I think they do not appreciate it enough.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And then the States. The salary in the States, it's so high compared to the three countries. It's amazing. I can say that had I made more money as a student in the States that I make here now and ever in Ecuador. So, and I was working in a cafeteria in the university.
Wow.
And I could not even work
Perspective.
full time. I only work 20 hours and I made more money. Yeah. But I also know that Michigan has also one of the is maybe one of the highest or
They
high
might.
up.
They might. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know California's up there. New York is up there for minimum wage. And your university, Michigan State, might have had like a precedent, like they paid a certain amount over minimum wage to give kids, like students, like a livelihood.
Like
They
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know that for a fact, but you never know. I don't know. And that was a
Okay.
couple years ago, Gabby. So you're like mid-20s now,
Yeah, yeah. I
okay?
made more money then. How did I not appreciate that? Why did
Wow.
I not save up money? Dang it. Um, and then here, I love the way of no, that like the style, like the estilo de vida, the way of
The
living.
way of life, yeah.
Yeah, the way of life. It's so healthy. It's so you can walk everywhere. You can run. You can take the public transportation everywhere. I love that. I love that you don't need a car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too.
it amazes me. It amazes me every day. You can get everywhere by public transport.
Oh yeah, and bike. He's like in
And
my
bike,
face.
yeah, and bike, yeah.
That's one thing I love about Valencia in particular in comparison to other cities, just in general. Um, it's expansive enough, but it's easy to navigate. It's not like daunting like Barcelona
No.
or Madrid.
Yeah.
It's not like sprawling like LA or Denver or Dallas for me. Well, Dallas isn't that sprawling, but the Dallas Fort Worth metro area is. New York is just like overwhelming.
No. No.
Um, and yeah, so for me, it's like you fit all these people in this metro area, and it is a bit. I feel like in the last 2 years, for me personally, it feels more crowded, but it's still not impossible to navigate, which I really appreciate
Yeah. Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
All right.
And then negative things like the cons are um well, Ecuador insecurity. You there's no way you can stay out late, for example.
Mm.
Um there's a lot of bad people there.
Ah,
Uh,
I was gonna
yeah.
ask if there was like a stereotype like that, like how the safety compared to.
No, no, there's a lot of insecurity. You cannot go out after what, maybe 10 p.m. Um, you can get robbed, you can get sexually assaulted, you can get killed. Um, a lot of people in motorbikes track you down. Yeah, it's not nice. It's not a safe country right now. I think it's one of the top countries of high insecurity in South America right now. Yeah. And then Michigan. Yeah. Michigan, everything was so far away that you needed a car. Well, yeah, we rented a car a lot of times. If we wanted to go anywhere, we needed to rent a car, which was expensive. As you earn, you also pay. So that was also one of the things that was sad. But yeah, that's for Michigan. And then for Valencia, it's too hot.
That's the only negative.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't like that it's too hot. If it wasn't that hot, Valencia would be perfect. But getting here in summer to like 47 degrees. I have a screenshot that one day, one night, we got to 47 degrees Celsius during the night. It's because if during the night it was cooler, it would be fine. But during the night, it's actually warmer.
Can be, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
do not mess around with my sleep. That's where that's where I lose it. That's where I lose it.
Don't have kids, let me tell you that. Oh man. I think
And I
that's
want
really,
four.
yeah, good luck. Good luck. I think that's what that's interesting too because for me for Valencia it offers a lot and you still even though the fruits and like the produce isn't as like dynamic or diverse as like Ecuador, South America. Because my friend Salome talks about how incredible the fruits and stuff are in Colombia as well. You still have like a year-round supply of things because of some of the climates here. Like the olives are just to die for. I don't like olives. I don't like olives, and I eat them here in Spain. It's just a different level of the way they grow them, how they marinate them. The olive oil is like incredible. Um, Oranges, especially here year round, you can get citrus fruits here. Like there's
Yeah.
Valencia oranges are known for a reason. Don't eat the ones on the
Yeah.
trees in the city though. Uh, just saying. No, I have not
Yes.
tried them because my dog pees on those trees. Why would I eat that fruit? That just grosses me out. Um, uh, yeah, so like those kinds of little things, and again with the transportation and the flexibility, like sometimes it's quicker to walk or ride a bike than
Yes.
take a car. Do you have your driver's license? Did you learn how to drive
Yes, yes,
in
yes.
Ecuador?
In Ecuador.
Ecuador. That song always pops into my head when I say Ecuador. Sorry, I can't help it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I totally feel you. Now I have got my own take on the US, but so I'll just keep my mouth shut. What is something you wish you would have known before moving to Spain?
The bureaucratic process I would have to fight for every day. They ask. They put a lot of things in your like plate every day. It's a new like if it's not paper A, it's paper B. If it's not paper B, it's paper C. If it's not paper C, they have the whole alphabet for you to like try and eat it. Like they are gonna try to stop you with the whole alphabet. And you just need to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing all the ways you can. And I would try to get a better asesoramiento, like advisors, like from a good lawyer, because my problem was that I applied to uh, all the visa stuff here in Spain without a lawyer because I wanted to do it all by myself as a grown up woman. Saying that, oh no, why would I pay a lawyer if I can do it all by myself?
It's got to be a Latin American thing because Salome is the exact same way. Like,
No, no. Pay a lawyer. Just pay a lawyer and do it.
I think that's a good insight. You can do a lot of, and I said this in another podcast, but from all the conversations I've had with expats of all different backgrounds and recorded or not recorded, um, you can find out a lot from the groups and from talking, but the problem is everything is situational. They're not going
Yeah,
to treat me the same way they're going to treat you, the same way they're going to
yeah.
treat Salome, the same way they're going to treat Susan, the same way they're going to
No.
treat, Maria. Like it's every case is very situational. So what works for me and what I
Might not
need,
work for me.
especially with different passports, like where you're coming from, what's the economic, social, political relationship with that country. There's a lot of it's very fluid now. In general, like it's always been that way, but it's even more, I would say, like fragile in certain parameters. So I like that you brought that up because you know, anything can change at any time. Like, look at me with the Italian thing. All of a sudden, Italy changes their mind, and now I'm not a candidate. Like, what WTF, mate? Like, literally overnight. And you don't even know these things are in the background happening. And sometimes it even takes immigration attorneys a day or two or a week or
Yeah.
so to catch up with things because they're in flux all the time.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyway,
No. The best advice I can give myself for from like 4 years ago would be like pay a lawyer to do all your stuff and get an advice from them to get them all like for them to give you all the information you need to know about the process you'll be going through because you don't know anything about that. Please do it. Thank you very much.
sorry.
I have a new appreciation for lawyers after going through all of this because they just, uh, it's like you were saying, everything is situational, and what works for me might not work for everybody else. Yeah.
What about similarities and differences between Ecuador and Spain culturally? Like,
I love that here people are also touchy. You give two kisses,
yeah,
you can also hug and touch and everything. Yeah, I love it.
I'm so European now. Nah, I
Well, not
try.
European, maybe Italian, French, and Portuguese
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Spanish. But because if you go to Germany and you do that, you're gonna be like, who is this crazy lady?
I'm American. They'd be like, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
This, of course. There she comes.
I didn't want to say it. You said it.
I understand my place in the world. It's fine. It's all right. I own it.
But yeah, I love that. I love that. I love the food is similar, as you said.
Mm,
But also Ecuador is a very American. I like to say this, but Ecuador is an Americanized country because we have a lot of trade within Ecuador and the
mm,
States.
mhm,
So we also have a lot of even though we have lots of like fruit and everything, we have more food from the States than from Europe, which is sad. Because, for example, I grew up, instead of eating jamón serrano, I grew up eating mac and cheese.
sorry about that.
Nah, it's okay. I love mac and cheese. There's like nothing else, nothing better you can eat in a rainy day than a hot plate of mac and cheese.
This is so true. I make my own now. I don't use the box stuff anymore, but I'll tell you what, Kraft mac and cheese is my jam, especially when I was broke.
I love it.
But also too, like you, that's a really good point with the trade and stuff. It's like there's a ton. There's first of all, there's a ton of produce that comes. I think Costa Rica provides like something like 80% of America's pineapples, something crazy
Okay.
like that. But you can see here too on the produce like how much food still comes from South America. And a
Yeah.
lot of that is because of those cultural ties, like former Spanish colonies and you know, started as
Yeah.
that. And then like the
Which,
relationships have changed obviously over the years. But so it's interesting to me. Um, but also I'm like, can't we grow some of that stuff here? Why are we getting this from Peru? Like, come on.
yeah, it's because of the weather and because they are the soil over there. It's richer in minerals and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, but also the similarity food there in Ecuador and here it feels more rich than in the States, for example. So that's something which is really really nice. That's a reason that I also decided to stay here because food is not bad at all, and I also love that they almost you cannot find almost anything from the States in here
It's hard.
because of the bands from the like the colorants from like
Oh
the
yeah,
talk, yeah,
yeah, all the things. You
all
can
the
taste
things,
a
yeah.
difference too. Like, I don't necessarily stress out about finding organic produce here, or, you know, as opposed to in the States where I was like always like, oh, I gotta buy this because I mean
Yeah.
still has pesticides on it regardless because on organic, but wait, I won't get into that. But yes, I agree with that
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
But the food, and then the well, another similarity, um apart from the warmth of the people, the food, um I love, even though this is not a similarity, I love how people dress here.
Oh,
they're always so fancy, so nicely dressed. I love it. Uh, that's because in Ecuador, for example, it's like in the States. We dress with pajamas to go food shopping. And I don't, even though it's comfy, I like that here you dress up to go
yeah,
anywhere.
you do.
I like that. I like that you can go alone to the gym or go alone to just walk the streets, and you look at everyone and everything. Everyone is dolled up and like seems to like have good attires and like a good
Yeah,
image. I
they
like that.
they put themselves together. I
Yeah.
don't still, but I try to put on more than yoga pants every day. You know, like I'm wearing jeans right now. So that's a step up for me.
Yeah, that is, it's really nice. That's one thing that, for example, made me also come out from my depression, because I
Mm,
needed to dress up and dress well, which is was really nice. If you are not in a culture like this, yeah, I find it harder to come out of things like that.
yeah, you just needed a dog. That'll get you out of depression.
I need a deal.
Oh, he's my baby. He's a baby. He's sitting like he keeps putting his head on me. Yes, I'm talking about
I can
you.
hear his tail
It's a
going up and down.
freaking weapon. Is there anything else we didn't know we needed to know about immigration? Or
Um, Let me see my notes. um, I think we covered it all. But no, I think that the best advice is going to like to a lawyer and get uh, all the information you need to ask questions, even if they seem silly. There are not there are no silly questions. Bureaucracy is often so unclear. There are so many gaps. There are so many like shortcuts you can take, but you don't know you can actually take. So always, even though paying for a lawyer, it's disgusting.
it's cheaper here though and then in the States, that's for sure. But I
I will
take
just
take your
do it.
point. When you compare the salaries, it's aggressive, but yeah, I hear you.
Cause I I went through so much like emotional damage for not getting all that information.
Yeah.
Because for example, if I knew I couldn't get the job visa after, because there was a reason also. It was because I did not study my master's in a university, that I needed to apply
Oh,
for a real university and not a institution. I would have applied for a university, you know. All these things you need to know before
that's a
coming and applying.
that's a good note. Are there any specific things that you need to ask? And
Yeah, and
some, yeah, sometimes you just don't even know that you have to ask that question.
they need to be, there are two types of titles here. The like propios y los there's another word for propios y los, wait,
Propios? Hold on. In real time.
oficiales. Propios o u oficiales.
What?
So it's like official or own. own, yeah,
What's
they like their, because universities have their own titles or official titles. And if you want to come to Spain and you want to plan to stay in Spain, you need to study in a university that offers you a title that is official and not their own
their own
title.
specific
Yeah.
thing? Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is SHIT. Is that spelled correctly? Yes.
Yes, it is. No, you can say the word. It's fine. This is not for children. It's for adults.
It's horrible because you don't know until you ask or someone tells you that.
Well, and I think that's the mistake too, is that we have our own set of social programming from whatever culture you're in, right? You know, so it's going to be slightly different for me than for you because Ecuador versus America. But our so you go based on what you know, and then you try to like assume that it's the same. Like you just do that unconsciously, but it's very different. And you
Yeah.
don't think about that because it's not, that's not how your brain is wired. It's
Yeah.
like you think of it this way. So I remember saying that like when we moved here, I was like, it's going to be different. You can't assume one thing or the other, you know? And
Yeah.
to be fair, like I made Dom do all the legwork because it was his visa. I was like, I'm not getting in the middle of this. I'm just gonna be like asking you for documents, and it's gonna be like siphoned through. That's gonna be too much. I did make him do a lot of legwork because it was his name on the visa, his business, his work. So in a way, I kind of got off a lot easier than a lot of people because I didn't have to go through that process. I was just on the side of it. Um, but you forget that it's not the same process. It is slightly different things, and it's different ways of presenting information. So I'll put it like that. And so it can't be B, it has to be C. It can't be D, it has to be F, you know? And it might be similar, but it's different. So yeah, I get that. I really understand that. Okay, Gabby, I appreciate you and all your insight and all your laughter because I really needed that today. I'm the mom who knows not, and my name is Brianna. We hope you learned something you didn't know you needed to know about immigration and life abroad.